Thank you. Well, thank you to the Reverend Dr. Matthew Johnson. He's done it again. He has raised for us the question of transfiguration, that biblical narrative where the disciples try to put it in a box, capture it, try to assume they've got it figured out, right? The attempt to capture the glory of the transfiguration of Jesus. This is the text that he uses for us to grapple with the question that is the theme of our conference, that tension between reality and hope, between hope and reality. The tension between an abiding faith in America, King's abiding faith in humanity, and his full cognizance of the reigning resistance to justice. The way of being in the world, Dr. Johnson tells us, has been reduced to a political catchphrase. And we remain mesmerized and preoccupied with the mountaintop rather than the ongoing struggle in the valley. What is celebrated as an accomplished fact is actually the end of the beginning.
Yes.
So not to avoid the taint of America's original sin is our call. Not to avoid what has become our legacy of Black life in the prison industrial complex. Not to embrace the transfigured king that's attempted to be captured is the "why can't we all get along" motif. That's what we put in the box, right? That's what we put on the Hallmark cards. Why can't we just all get along? Instead, Dr. Johnson tells us it's good to be here, but it's not good for us to stay here. The prophets performed the function in the economy of salvation. We don't disregard that, but they did not complete the mission. King's acceptance of the Nobel Peace Prize, his opening words were a question: why? Why a prize for an unfinished task, for a race not won? So the call over and over again from Dr. Johnson to us today: let us go back to the valley. Yes, it is true cynicism and nihilism flourish, but we have a challenge to our national psyche. Our destiny is bottled up in those trapped in the valley. We cannot touch and feel or see progress. We see denial reigning in the lives of Black and brown bodies. We see their complicity, and the dream is framed and presented, but then it seems deferred and delayed. King says, I wish I could stay on the mountaintop. I wish I could stay here tonight, but the valley calls me. My question for Dr. Johnson is, what is realistic hope? But he's actually answered it for us. Realistic hope is where there is authentic freedom that is thoroughly understood, where weeping Rachel will not be consoled. We must not sink in the sea in the absence of moral outrage. We must not be blind to the indifference and complacency